Oh man. One of my favorite topics is immigration or illegal immigration or asylum seekers. I know people say that we shouldn't have borders. Some say no, human is illegal. But I remember the kids in cages scandals. I remember a lot about the immigrations that happened under Obama, under Trump. Not so much Bush, but definitely under Obama and under Trump. I remember remaining in Mexico. I also remembered how Trump got Mexico to kind of work on a path to fix our immigration issue or our legal crossing issue. But this just keeps getting better and better and better and better and better. When I mean that, keeps on getting worse and worse and worse. Excuse me. Had to go choke on that for a minute. According to the Intercept.com, this was written by Ryan Diverox. This was posted August 28th, 2023 at 12:11 p.m. Border Patrol violating court order against the humane treatment of migrants, officials say. Who controls the Border Patrol? Well, Biden does, part of the executive branch, which therefore he controls the treatment of migrants. So this is Biden's Border Patrol violating court order against inhumane treatment of migrants, officials say. In Arizona, migrant cages outdoor to indoor extreme temperatures, cardboard scraps for beds, and overflowing porta potties. I did a video of this probably not too long ago. A few months back, the Biden Border Patrol has been detaining asylum seekers outdoors in deadly corner of Arizona desert for a better part of a year, significantly longer than previously known. According to photos, videos, and interviews conducted by The Intercept, the practice was one of several described by concerned officials with U.S. Customs and Border Protection. The Border Patrol parent agency, who said that their agency is flaunting a federal court order mandating the humane treatment of migrants. In July, amid a lethal and record setting heat wave, The Intercept captured photos of roughly 50 migrants caged in an outdoor pen at the Border Patrol Hijo Station, deep in the Sonora Desert, 2 hours west of Tucson. The high temperature that day was 114 degrees. I'm over here complaining when it's 105, 104, sometimes 107 here in Austin, Texas. But 114 degrees. The only thing I can relate to is when I was deployed in Iraq and it was 120, 130. So it's hot. According to the CBP, officials who are based in the state have direct knowledge of the situation. The caging is no isolated incident. Supervisors at the remote station have been using the pen as well as other exposed areas since at least last winter to detain large numbers of people in extreme cold as well as extreme heat. So not only is it it's really exposure to the elements. Now, I know I harp that I don't like the fact that we're caging these people, and I harp on the fact that we're just allowing them into our country. I also harp on that Mexico's not doing their job to keep their southern border safe. This is just a compounding issue that's going to end up being terrible. What's it going to be? A couple people have to die before a policy is changed? I honestly don't know. I mean, I got my opinions. This has been going on for a long time, one official told The Intercept. Management is forcing us to violate these things that they should have basic human necessities. Necessities. The issue is when you have an influx of people coming all at once and you don't have the resources available to process or manage these people. So, from a humanitarian aspect of it, doesn't matter who the president is. This is uncalled for. This is human right violation. It should be addressed and it should be mitigated to where this is a rarity, if possible. Since 2020, the Border Patrol Tucson sector has been under permanent injunction following a class action lawsuit revealed that migrants, including women and children, in custody in the southern Arizona were systematically held in deplorable conditions. Under the injunction, the Border Patrol is legally obligated to provide anyone in custody more than 48 hours with a bed and blanket, showers, adequate food, potable water, medical assessments, and more. Agents sign up paperwork acknowledging that they have read and will abide by the order. In a moment of dire humanitarian need, the CBP used the outdoor pin reflects deeper problems at the Border Patrol High Hole outpost, the official said, one that is rooted in lack of foresight or acknowledgement of the life or death urgency inherent in the desert. In July alone, the Office of Pima County Medical Examiner, whose remit is within the Tucson sector jurisdiction, whatever that word is, cataloged the recovery of 44 sets of migrant remains in the southern Arizona, the third highest monthly total in a decade and a half, including 22 people who died a day before being found. I mean, unless you have adequate water, which you probably won't be able to carry because that's the amount of water that is needed really weighs a lot. Water is not light by any measure. And you really do need to be well hydrated if you're going to go in the desert. And not just well hydrated, you also need electrolytes because if you don't replenish your electrolytes, you could have a situation where you have too diluted of water that's floating into your bloodstream, which also has caused health issues as well. Let's say the Customs Border Patrol officials stressed that by failing providing humanitarian resources needed for an influx of asylum seekers, the Border Patrol has made it impossible for agents in Arizona to abide by the federal injunction mandating humane treatment of non-citizens in United States custodies. What we're doing now is a disgrace, one official said. We need a full-blown infrastructure down here. We need a mobile command centers and tents and air conditioning, caregivers in EMT down at the border, they added. We got EMT on shift. We're lucky. There's just nothing being flooded in. That makes no sense. Customs Border Patrol did not respond to a list of questions from the inceptor concerning conditions at the Ohio stations. While apprehensions have been recently dipped elsewhere on the border, that has not been the case in Arizona, where the Tucson sector has become the busiest in the nation, not to mention the most lethal. In July, agents in the southern Arizona recorded nearly 34,000 apprehensions, a 20% increase compared to last year. The Tucson sector deputy chief, Justin Delatorre, told a local outlet, AZPM News, while the most of the 2022 apprehensions involved single adult men, let's just say 80% of the 34,000 are military-age men. That's an invasion. They could be a foreign military apparatus to get a foothold into America. That is a national security concern that I have. Not saying that they are part of the military, but I'm just saying 34,000 men, let's say it's about, 28,000 of them are military people. That would be an invading army. Just to put that in perspective. Let's see here. Involved single adult men this year. Nearly half are families. Delatorre added that roughly 80% of the people taken in custody turned themselves in, typically to seek asylum, a right and shine under the domestic and international law, including those who cross the border without authorization. I mean, is Mexico a safe state or is it not a safe state? Depending on who you talk to, if you're talking about asylum seekers, it's a very dangerous, gang ridden, cartel controlled country. If you're talking about anything other than that, it's the safest country on the planet Earth. Seems like they want to have their cake and eat it too. You're taking people into custody, you're custodians, you're taking away their ability to protect themselves, the ability to provide for themselves. You're accepting that you're going to do that and that they believe that you're going to do that. One official spoke to the Intercept, said these people should have a warmth in the wintertime and shade at the very least in the summertime. The denial of either is reprehensible, they said, and yet that's precisely what's been happening. Like, I understand that my liberal heart side says that we need to take care of these people. We need to treat them with basic humanity and treat them with respect because they are our fellow humans. I may not agree that they're on our soil, but once they make it to our soil, we should at least make sure that they have a fighting chance to survive the day or the night, to make sure that they have their basic needs taken care of, whether that's shelter, food, water, place to rest. So I get it. See, I mean, this really is a long article that I'm not going to completely read. I think you get the gist of it. I think it's funny that none of this is being reported by mainstream news. Now, this happened under Bush or happened under Trump or any other Republican president. This will be front page news. You'll have CNN, MSP, and all those news organizations reporting how cruel the administration is. But since this is happening under Joe Biden, a Democrat, they're going to play cover. And I'm just frustrated. We don't have equal application of the media. They tend to play cover for the Democrats. I know that someone's going to say, well, what about Fox News? What about Newsmax? What about fill in the blank right-sided news? Those aren't necessarily mainstream news. Now, according to Ground News, the Intercept bias leans left. At least they're calling out the Border Patrol, but they're not calling out Joe Biden. See, under Joe Biden, it's not his immigration problem, it's the Border Patrol problem. I'm sure if this was under Trump, it'd be Trump's Border Patrol violating court orders against humane treatment of migrant officials, say. That would be the headline. But since Democrats control the White House, it's an issue with the institution, not the actual policy that's being driven by our president. With that being said, that is my opinion. This is a humanitarian crisis caused by Joe Biden. And I have no qualms calling him out. And if it was Trump, I would like to say that I would call him out too. But I don't know at this point. With that being said, that is my video for this hour. There may be one or two more, haven't decided. That being said, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.